Namaste. Welcome everyone to the Vivek on the Youth Forum. Let us start our session. The first session is meditation. Choose a position where you can sit comfortably for a 20 minutes duration. Keep your hands in Dhyana Mudra, joining of your index and thumb finger. Palms facing to the roof. Close your eyes gently. First, observe your body. Your sitting position, spine, neck and head. The training of body and mind is most important for every person. We need to train this mind and body regularly. The meditation plays crucial role in the training of mind. Just watch your thoughts. Try to know about your thoughts like a watchman, how he observes who is coming in and who is going out. In the same manner, just observe your mind, what your mind is carrying now. Now, have a smooth breath in and smooth breath out. Try to concentrate on your breath, aware about your every inhalation and every exhalation. if your mind is occupied with something, try to cut down all other things for this time of 15 minutes. Let your mind completely focus on your breath. The inhalation awareness, the exhalation awareness. Let your mind completely into that only. If your mind is going anywhere outside, with the willpower, try to bring it back and practice again. Continuously abhyasa. So attempt with utmost shraddha and concentration, practice this meditation. last 5 minutes, the continue the same, still more focused. Feel the breath and completely aware about your every breath in and out. Now breathe in deeply and breathe out deeply for 4 times. Inhale deeply, exhale deeply. Now let us chant Omkara. Along with me, you also chant Omkara. You must switch on your videos. Active participation most important in these classes. So if you are not switching on the video, will not be aware whether you are practicing or not. Another thing, practice only will help us. Some people just they see, oh, this is what. That will not at all help. Take an example, ragi malt is very good for our health. You listen that. If you just see that, will you get any benefit out of that? Nothing. So you must drink that. Then only you will get the benefit of that. This everything in these sessions, meditation or bhajans or whatever it is, you should involve more. That is only will help you. Just a active participation will more and more help in this. That is the purpose of keeping these classes. So I request everyone to switch on their videos. Let us chant Omkara along with me. You just loudly chant Omkara. Va Keep your hands in Namaskar Mudra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Clap your palms. Keep your palms on eyes. Slowly open your eyes. Namaste. If you have any questions, you can write in chat box in the last so that we can answer your questions. Maharaj, you can take over, Maharaj.
Thank you, Anil Garu, our yoga teacher. Jai Ramakrishna to all. You are all most cordially welcome to our youth forum. Now we chant some Veda mantra. This we call it mantra, not sloka. If you mantra means if you go on repeating, it will ripen. It will give what happened from first benefit what we get, our pronunciation will improve. And it's having its own udatta, anudatta, swarita, like that. So it having its own frequency that will affect on our subconscious mind, our concentration, memory power, and we get some our IQ will improve. Our pronunciation, concentration, memory power, IQ, overall health increases. So please repeat loudly. గట్టిగా రిపీట్ చేయండి. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. హరి ఓం. గణానాం త్వా గణపతిగం హవామహే. కవిం కవీనాం ముపమశ్రవస్తమం. జ్యేష్ఠరాజం బ్రహ్మణాం బ్రహ్మణస్పత ఆనః శృణ్వన్నోతిభిः सीदम्. సాధనం. Some audio problems here we rectify. Please repeat. Om Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi तन्नो हंसा प्रचोदयात् ॐ नमो हिरण्यबाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतया उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च ॐ निधनपतये नमः Some audio problems here. Now please repeat, repeat chanting. Om Nidanapataye Namaha. Nidanapatantikaya Namaha. Urdhvaya Namaha. Urdhvalingaya Namaha. Hiranyaya Namaha. Hiranyalingaya Namaha. Suvarnaya Namaha. Suvarnalingaya Namaha. Divyaya Namaha. Divyalingaya Namaha. Bhavaya Namaha. Bhavalingaya Namaha. Sharvaya Namaha. Sharvalingaya Namaha. Shivaya Namaha. Shivalingaya Namaha. Jvalaya Namaha. Jvalalingaya Namaha. Atmaya Namaha. Atmalingaya Namaha. Paramaya Namaha. Paramalingaya Namaha. Eta somasya suryasya sarva bhajan we sing, small bhajan. We start with our small bhajan on Lord Vinayak, Lord Ganesha. Please repeat loudly. While repeating, please remember Lord Vinayaka. Omkareshwara Vinayaka. Omkareshwara Vinayaka. Jaya Gananatha Gajavadana. Jaya Gananatha Gajavadana. Omkareshwara Vinayaka. Jaya Gananatha Gajavadana. Mangaladhata Bhavaharana. Mangaladhata Bhavaharana. Suramuni Sevita Shubhacharana. Suramuni Sevita Shubhacharana. Siddhi Vidata Bhayaharana. Siddhi Vidata Bhayaharana. Omkareshwara Vinayaka. Omkareshwara Vinayaka. Jaya Gananatha Gajavadana. Jaya Gananatha Gajavadana. Mangaladhata Bhavaharana. Mangaladhata Bhavaharana. Suramuni Sevita Shubhacharana. Suramuni Sevita Shubhacharana. Siddhi Vidata Bhayaharana. Siddhi Vidata Bhayaharana. Omkareshwara Vinayaka. जय गणनाथ गजवदना wonderful. No more Vandana ji, Subhashita please. One minute, just correction.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Speaker. No, direct no.
ಜಯ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ. So the meaning of Subhashitam is Subhashitam. Bhashitam means the words. Subhashitam means the good words. All the good words helps us to lead a great life, to build a great character. So in every youth forum we learn one Subhashitam. So today's Subhashitam, first I'll tell the words, repeat after me. After that we chant together and we'll know the meaning. Chitte प्रसन्ने भुवनं प्रसन्नं चित्ते विषण्णे भुवनं विषण्णं अतोऽभिलाषो यदि ते सुखे स्यात् अतोऽभिलाषो यदि ते सुखे स्यात् चित्त प्रसादे प्रथमं यतस्व चित्त प्रसादे प्रथमं यतस्व. So the meaning of this Subhashitam goes like this. Chitte means our mind. Chitte prasanne. If in our mind, if we think or if we are having happiness in our mind, then Bhuvanam Prasanna, we see the entire world is very happy, peaceful. Chitte Vishanne, if in your mind you have the miseries or sadness, then you will see the entire world is like that only. So here our ancestors tells what? Ataha Abhilasho. So for the seekers, what they have to do, if you want peace, if you want sukham, sukhe syat, if you want sukham, then what we have to do is chitta prasade prathamam yatasva. Yatasva means try, prayatna. Yatati ante prayatninchadam anamata. So what we have to do, chitta prasade means we have to think for our happiness in our mind. If happiness or peace we are having in our mind, then we will see the entire world is also happy. So first two lines tells where happiness is, and the second two lines tells what we have to do to find that. What is our goal and what we have to do to find. So although we know all of us are here to build our character more stronger. Everyone's character is great. Little levels are there. So we are here to learn good things to build our character more stronger. So that whatever anything is coming, will be able to face those challenges. So here with this Subhashitam we have to think everything is in our mind. Like Vivekananda tells, all power is within you, you can do any anything and everything. So everything is in our mind. If our mind is strong, happy, peaceful, then the reflection of that we can see in this world happiness. Okay, we'll learn together now. Chitte prasanne,
Chitte prasanne,
bhuvanam prasannam,
bhuvanam prasannam,
chitte prasanne,
chitte prasanne,
bhuvanam prasannam,
bhuvanam prasannam,
chitte vishanne,
chitte vishanne,
bhuvanam vishannam,
bhuvanam visannam,
chitte vishanne,
chitte vishanne,
bhuvanam vishannam,
bhuvanam visannam,
ato bhilasho,
ato vilasho,
yadi te sukhe syat,
yadite sukhe syat,
ato bhilasho,
ato vilasho,
yadi te sukhe syat,
yadite sukhe syat,
चित्त प्रसादे,
chitta prasade,
प्रथमं यतस्वा,
pratamam yatasva,
चित्त प्रसादे,
chitta prasade,
प्रथमं यतस्वा.
pratamam yatasva.
So I think all of us got the meaning. One more time we'll chant together. We'll try to remember this Subhashitam and tell without that. Chitte prasanne,
Chitte prasanne,
bhuvanam prasannam,
bhuvanam prasannam,
chitte vishanne,
chitte vishanne,
bhuvanam vishannam,
bhuvanam visannam,
ato bhilashe,
ato vilashe,
yadite sukhe syat,
yadite sukhe syat,
ato bhilasho,
ato vilasho,
yadite sukhe syat,
yadite sukhe syat,
chitta prasade,
chitta prasade,
prathamam yatasva,
pratamam yatasva,
chitta prasade,
chitta prasade,
prathamam yatasva.
pratamam yatasva.
So this is today's Subhashitam. I'll post this Subhashitam in our group. We can practice there, and in activity group we can recite the Subhashitam and send that in that group. So Dhanyavadaha. Jai Ramakrishna.
Now, I request our Sri Dr. Samir Nandanji. Is our well-wisher, our family. You all know, I put this introduction and other details in our activity group. Thank you so much, sir. Please come.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. I bow to all gurus of all times, and all ages, and all religions. Welcome back once again to my lecture on a subtopic of personality development, which is recognize and reform your negatives. Is it important to focus on negatives? As we know, everybody talks about being positive, right? We have to focus on our positives, we have to focus on our strengths, we have to focus on our abilities and build upon them. Why should we discuss about negatives at all? Will it not bring us down, pull us down? Let me give you a real life scenario. This is one episode which I keep narrating in many of my speeches. I think I told about that on the same platform also, but still I'm going to repeat. One of my best friends from my intermediate days, he was a brilliant student. He was expected to get state rank in medical entrance examination. Those days it was called MSET. He was expected to get a state rank. He appeared along with me. We appeared for the exam. Unfortunately, he got a rank beyond 10,000. Unless somebody gets below 600, they are not going to get a medical seat. This was year 1999, 2000. So that was the scenario. Therefore, he had to join the long term coaching, 1 year extra training to get a medical seat. Again, he was expected to get wonderful ranks. Even their junior college, their training center, awarded him with a stethoscope even before he appeared for the exam because he was a star performer all through the exams. But again, what happened? The moment he finished the exam, he got 3,500 or so rank. Everybody was so surprised and shocked. The third time he was prepared to appear for the exam. Again he went through the long-term coaching. And this time, 3 or 4 months before the examination, we happened to have a chat, a discussion. Then I asked him, how is it that you are missing the rank, straight rank in the final examination, whereas you are getting first rank in every other exam that you are appearing? Then as we were discussing, the thing came out that he just gets anxious during the final exam. The moment he gets anxious, his brain stops working. He knows the answer, but that doesn't come that fast. So much of time will be wasted. Suddenly, some confusion comes in. As a result, he falters in the examination. So, what I did was, it was divine grace and will. I taught him a basic pranayama technique, like our Anil sir teaches here. Same pranayama technique I taught him. Simple deep breathing, rhythmic breathing, nothing more. Not even Anuloma Viloma. Simple deep breathing I taught him. I taught him a technique of sitting silent for 10 minutes. Yes, the exam time came once again. He appeared for the exam and stood 24th ranker in the state. Now, you tell me, is it important to focus on the negatives? Of course, of course, yes. We have to know our weaknesses. We have to know them, correct them, evolve through them. So, in today's class, I'm going to explain to you about few of our negatives. The list is endless, but I shortlisted a few for time's sake. Alright, let us start with the basic negatives. Those are 6 in number. We all know them. What are they? Six negatives. Exactly. The Arishad Vargas. Arishad Varga. What is it? Arishad Varga. 6. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Let us start with the second one for a reason. I will start with the second negative quality, which is Krodha, anger. Okay, how many of us are generally angry? Yeah, yes, including myself, everybody, all of us. It will be very surprising if somebody is not angry. Even a little child knows how to be angry. He's already angry with my class C. So even a child feels anger. Newborn babies. Being a doctor, I always tell medical examples only. Some children, some kids, neonates we call them, as soon as they are born, some babies are so cheerful. They're always wiggling their hands and playing about them. But some kids, they keep on crying. Not because they don't get enough mother's milk or enough attention or anything. They are irritable by birth. It is true. So even as we look at the child during the first 1 day or 2 days of birth, we can tell how the child is going to be in future. Anyways, anger comes by birth, comes from previous births, to be very precise. Now, where does anger come from? What is the root cause? Why do we become angry? One reason. Yeah, that's a sub reason. One, yeah, in other words, converse. Desire leads to anger. That is what Bhagavan Sri Krishna said in Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Desire leads to anger. True or false? True, obviously. Lord Krishna said this, not me. It has to be true. Now you think, you just remember when you got angry. Maybe today, yesterday, day before yesterday, you must have got angry. At least this much. Why did you get angry? Think. There must be some desire of yours which was not fulfilled. You expected something, something else happened. You got angry. I got angry. So desire is the root cause of anger. You have to understand the mechanics of anger. Next thing is, this is a strange point, but a powerful point which I thought I would tell today in the youth forum. Swami Sivananda, another great saint of India, of Divine Life Society, he clearly mentioned loss of reproductive fluids leads to anger. Think about this. Think about this, everyone. Loss of reproductive fluids. I don't want to elaborate much on it. So, but still think about it. All the grihasthas, especially, all the grihasthas think about it. Once they lose their semen or a female reproductive fluids, that is one major reason for person to become angry, irritable all the time. So in other words, what do we call the brahmacharya, celibacy leads to peace of mind. Those who try to remain celibate try to remain more peaceful. That was what mentioned. This is again from the ancient shastras that I'm bringing out this point. This is such a new point even for me when I was like learning these things. I have never heard of this, but good to know. And then, if we become angry, what will happen? Of course, we shout. Our BP will increase. Our pulse will increase. What is the worst thing that can happen? You have seen in the movies, come on. Somebody when you are angry, when somebody is angry, especially after 60 years. Okay, that's how it begins. What's the end result? If somebody is suddenly angry, red hot anger, what will happen? Gone. Heart attack. We call it myocardial infarction. Suddenly the blood supply to the heart gets narrowed. The blood supply will be cut off to the heart when we are extremely angry. Heart will stop. That happens. That happens day in and day out. Therefore, anger reduces life expectancy. It shortens our lifespan. There is a mathematical calculation to this. How? One bout of anger, one moment of anger. Sound echo in the sir. Yeah, am I audible better?
Please
I
message.
hope I am audible. Yeah, anybody please message.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Sir, your voice keeps fluctuating between low and high whenever you are turning my face probably. So let me try to be as static as I can. Okay. Right. Now, whenever we get one bout of anger, believe me, 90 days of lifespan is cut off. 3 months. We are going to die 3 months earlier. If we become very angry twice, 6 months of our life is gone. If we are angry 4 times, 1 year is gone. Now our Shastras told us that we will be living for 100 years. Shatamanam Bhavati. Is it not? Who is living for 100 years these days? The one without anger is living. Most of us are unable to live for even more than 80 years because 20 years are lost in our anger only. Apart from all the other diseases, anger is the biggest disease. Therefore, understand the mechanics of anger. That is negative number one. Next thing is attachment. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha. Moha, attachment. We are attaching to so many things in life. So many things. We are attaching to things. We are attaching to people. We are attaching to our job, our money, our properties, our cycle, our motorbike, our car, our watch, our dresses, and of course our bank balance. We are attached to our family. We are attached to our children, attached to our spouse. Generally, it so happens that attachment with parents is getting down and down because parents are mostly confined to old age, unfortunately, old age home, unfortunately. But every other attachment is growing these days. Is attachment bad? Should we not be attached to a family? No, we should not be. We should be responsible and loving, but we should not be attached. There's a huge difference between love and attachment. For example, if the mother is too attached to the child, she will be so much overprotective of the child. She will not let the child go out of the house. She may not permit the child if he wants to go for an excursion with friends. Oh no, ma, don't go there. Something may happen. You don't go alone. You stay with us. Don't join in hostel. So any number of fears will come in. This is attachment. But if it is only pure love and responsibility, the mind will think, okay, is this the best thing for my child at this point or not? Should I do it or not do it? So there will be a logical decision, not emotional decision. Logical decision is important, not emotional decision. Therefore, attachment is bad. Once upon a time, there was a man around 55 years, 50, 60 years old. He went to take a bath in river Godavari, Rajamandri. You must have seen, right? Rajamandri, Godavari. He went there. He took a dip and he came out. Okay, okay. Friends, is it audible? Online friends, offline it is audible. Offline friends, is it audible? Yes, yeah. Thank you.
You can give 1 minute.
Sure, sir, no problem.
Which is it?
నేను రానా పక్కకి రానా
అని మీ ఫోకస్ చేయించాలి మీ ఇయర్ ఫోన్స్ చెప్పేసి
ఇప్పుడు మాట్లాడండి.
Yeah, I hope I am better audible at this time. You are muted.
ఇది కావాలి. మొబైల్లో వస్తుంది.
Yes, superb. Thank you. All right. Audible. You are able to listen, right? Oh, okay. Now, where were we? I'm telling you the story of that man near Godavari. This is mic, right? So yeah, I'll keep it like this so that this got blocked otherwise. Okay. So this man went to take a dip in river Godavari. He dipped himself, then came out. As soon as he came out, something was floating on the top of the river. Something shiny, something like a metal was coming towards him. He got very curious. He went in, caught hold of it, and pulled it out. You know what it was? A silver tumbler. మనము కమండలం అన్ని వాడతాం కదా, ఉద్ధరణ పంచపాత్ర కమండలం. So it was a silver tumbler. So he got so happy. He was like so joyful. For a moment, he looked this way and that way to see if there is somebody who must have lost it. Luckily, there was nobody in the vicinity. Therefore, he was so thrilled that he got such a huge silver object. Then he wanted to thank Godavari Mata for the benevolent gift he received. So he kept the tumbler behind and he went to take another dip as a mark of respect. Suddenly, another big wave came across and it came and washed over him, washed over the shore, and took the tumbler away back into the river. The moment he came out, the tumbler was gone. Then he started shouting and crying, "Oh my God, I lost my tumbler! Oh God, I lost my tumbler!" He was shedding his tears. Now take a small pause here. Was the tumbler his really? Was it his tumbler? It came to him only 1 minute before. But now he's crying. That is attachment. If he knew that the tumbler doesn't belong to him, he wouldn't cry. Because that attachment came in within that moment, he started crying for the tumbler which was never his. Our family is like that. Our property is like that. All our whatever, everything, all the material things we possess are like that. Are they permanent? You had your cycle in the childhood. You have it with you still? No, it has gone. Maybe to the garage or maybe somebody else took it. What about your bike? When you buy it, you're like, oh my God, you don't want even one scratch on it. You will polish it nicely and dust it with a nice new makamal cloth. But 7 years down the line, 10 years down the line, where is your bike? Gone. And what about your house? Your house is so valuable to you. You spend so much money on it. You work for 10 years. 100 years after now, where is your house? 50 years after now, where is your house? Maybe there, may not be there. Family, how long are we going to? So we have to understand the point that nothing stays forever. Therefore, perform your duties, but let us perform our duties respectfully, dutifully, with love, but never get attached to whatever is around us. Attachment is the next negative quality. The third in line is greed, lobha, greed, lobhamu. What is lobha? Miserliness, you may call it pisinaritanam, or else you may call it uh, how much ever you want, you get, you are not satisfied. You are never satisfied. That is greed. These days, all of us are caught in something called false need. We think we need it, but it is purely greed which is operating from behind. It is not the need. For example, if we want to travel from this place to another place, all we need is a two-wheeler. It doesn't have to be 3 lakhs worth of two-wheeler. It can be a 50,000 worth of two-wheeler also. But we would like to spend 2 lakhs or 1 lakh on it. Why? That is the greed part. So we have to carefully differentiate between need and greed. We have to wear good clothes. Yes, we have to look decent, elegant. But do we have to spend 2,000 rupees per shirt? Do we really need the branded shirt for us? That is the greed part. It somehow makes us feel better. We have to understand the difference between need and greed. If we start counting our life like that, so many expenses will come down. But unfortunately, because of the greed that possesses all of us today, we are running after our desires like mad. Once there was a man who was so greedy. He wanted to buy all the land available to him. He was already a multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire. He had 1,000 crores behind him. Still, he was not satisfied. He wanted more land. So he inquired where he would get the land. Finally, somebody told him that the land next to the Himalayas is the cheapest land in India. Nobody will really wants to buy because it's always covered with snow. Then he traveled all the way to Himalayas and went there. Then he found out soon that all that land belonged to one king who is now a Jamindar kind of person, previously king in the olden days. So one person owned the whole land, like something like 500,000 acres. Then this person asked the owner, "Sir, I want to buy land from you. How much land do you need?" As much as you can sell. Then this Jamindar got amused. Okay, let me try this fellow out. Let me tease this fellow. He thought. He said, "Okay, I will give you land. How much ever land you can cover from morning till evening, I will give it to you free of cost," he said. This fellow could not believe his eyes. "Sir, are you telling the truth?" Yes, I will write a promissory note for you. I will write it on the bond paper. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Today is the best day of my life, he said. So the morning he got up at 3 o'clock and started walking. He didn't even have breakfast because he would lose another acre by if he had breakfast. So he started not walking, running, because walking will take a long time. He ran and ran and ran like crazy. Up to what time? Till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He walked and ran and walked and ran and walked and ran. And by 1 o'clock, when the sun is at peak, he went into heat exhaustion, heat stroke, collapse, and died on the spot. And then people all gathered around him and they were like confused. They knew this thing was happening. Even the Jamindar was there. Then everybody was thinking, okay, how much land should be given to this person? He covered this much of land. How much land does should be given? Then somebody said, a wise man from behind, 3 feet into 6 feet is all the land he requires, sir. Yeah, dig, bury, over. Understand the difference between need and greed. It is enough if we have enough. We don't need to go beyond. We should try. This is not as easy as I say. For me or you or for most people, for average people like us, we have to make a conscious effort to differentiate between need and greed. Now let us move on to the fourth negative, pride. Mada Matsarya, pride. We are all proud, are we not? We are proud. Of course, we are proud. Why? For some reason. We can be proud for several reasons. We can be proud of our education. We are educated. We can be proud of our money if we have money. We can be proud of our culture. Indian. Good to be proud of. Yeah, it's good, but it should not be on the other side, not fanatism. There is a difference between being rightfully proud and fanatically proud. A fanatic will not approve all other cultures, whereas a true pride is okay. But now let us talk about false pride. Okay, so we are proud of our heritage, our family, our surname, our job, our power, our portfolio, our caste, our religion, whatnot. And they say the worst kind of pride is spiritual pride. If we are on the path of sadhana, if we have our master, if we are dedicated, we think, okay, I am a sadhaka. I am one step ahead of all other people. That is the worst kind of pride that can harm all of us. Therefore, there are several varieties of pride. See, pride is our downfall. The moment we are proud of something, we are doomed. What happened during Mahabharata war? The war was almost over. On the last day, Arjuna and Sri Krishna returned. And the custom in those days was the charioteer, the one who actually drives the chariot, he has to get down, open the door of the chariot, and the king will come out later. Here, the king was Arjuna. Lord Krishna was the charioteer. So, Arjuna was standing there at his place, and Lord Krishna, on the last day, he did not come out as he usually does. He said, Arjuna, get down. Then Arjuna was like little hurt. What? Krishna is asking me to come out first? Is he not the charioteer? Yeah, am I not the king? Is it not the custom that the charioteer should open the door? Then he said, but he was afraid. He knows that is Krishna. Sri Krishna, I think why don't you just come out first? Yeah, I'm on the way. I'm coming. Yeah, soon after you. He said politely. Then Krishna looked at him with a little fury in his eyes and said, "Get down, Arjuna. Enough." So Arjuna was very meek. He surrendered himself, came down. Then Krishna told Arjuna to move away. So Arjuna went to a distance. Suddenly Krishna jumped out of chariot. The moment Krishna left the chariot burnt into ashes, caught flames and burnt into ashes. In moments there was only ash there, no chariot. Arjuna was like dumbfounded. He was like awestruck. What happened? What is this? Then Krishna said, Arjuna, while you were busy in the war, so many of your enemies use so many powerful arrows on you. And I had to all direct them to my fate. I had to keep them under my foot. If I didn't do that, you would have been shot dead long before now. Krishna told him. Then Arjuna again realized his mistake and fell at the feet of Krishna. See, even for a man, such a wonderful man like Arjuna, such a devoted, surrendered man like Arjuna can have pride. What about us? We can be easily proud for silly reasons also. Let us be cautious. Let us be careful. Next negative quality is jealousy. Matsarya, it is called jealousy. All of us are jealous of something or other. We are all jealous about something or other. When I was in Puttaparthi in Prashanti Nilayam, I was so jealous about one thing. About what? If Sri Satya Sai Baba was speaking to somebody else, why doesn't he talk to me? I used to be so much hurt by the fact, and I used to feel little bitter about the person with whom Baba talks all the time. There used to be few people with whom Baba talks almost every fourth day, sixth day, 10th day. For us, it will be like once in 6 months, once in 1 year. So difficult to approach him. So I used to feel a lot of jealousy towards them. Okay, later on I understood the bigger picture of what was happening, but I was so much immature at that point of time. Likewise, we are jealous about somebody or something all the time. And what will happen out of it? Downfall. Whose downfall? Our own downfall. In the olden days, like around 50 years ago, there was a tailor in a village. He was very, very efficient. The moment he stitches a cloth, it would be so good, so perfect in fit that everybody used to come to that tailor only. And over a period of time, he became so proud of his work. Once pride sets in, we become arrogant and our language changes. We start abusing people, like we will be scolding people. Our smooth talk will be gone. We'll be talking in rude tones, rude language. So even this fellow has become like that. He was like shouting on people, hey, why don't you wait in line? Hey, why don't you come tomorrow? Hey, can't you listen? I'm busy right now. So these were his replies to many people. People were a little hurt by his behavior, but what to do? There was no choice. They had to go to this tailor only. One day, it so happened that one lady, a middle-aged lady, came from the next village. She was she wanted to settle in the village. She knew a bit of tailoring. She came to this man and asked, "Sir, I want to work under you as your helper. Please employ me." He shouted on this lady and sent her away. Then what to do, poor lady? She has a son to take care of and no husband. Therefore, she took a small place for rent and she announced everybody that I can do minimum stitching work. So please give me some offer. Slowly, people started coming to her because this place was overcrowded. People started going to her, and gradually, bit by bit, she improved her skills so much, and she became such a huge competition for this fellow, initial tailor. Thus, this tailor's business started coming down. As a result, he became so jealous of this newcomer, this new tailor. It was happening one day. The wife of the tailor, the first tailor, the busy tailor, I mean the initial village tailor, that wife came to this lady from the other village and told her, "Madam, because of you, our business suffered a lot. I have come to offer a deal on my husband's behalf. He doesn't know it yet, but let me tell you this. I will give you 1 lakh rupees. Will you sell this shop to us and leave the place and go and settle in the village next door, next village?" She asked. This lady was so happy. 1 lakh in those days was so much. She said, "Gladly, I will sell my shop for 1 lakh rupees. I will start business with 25,000 rupees in next village," she said. So the deal was done and the purchase was over. The money was transferred. The deed was given to this lady. She took all her money, engaged a bullock cart, and left the village. That same night, this tailor, the husband, the original tailor, he was brooding in his mind all the time. He was so jealous of the new tailor. Finally, his jealousy possessed him. He took a kagada, what we call it, fire stick, that night. He went and he set fire to the shop of the second tailor. The whole shop was burned to ashes. The premises was burned. He was so happy, like savagely, he was happy. He returned. He told his wife secretly, "You know what I did today? I totally burned the new tailor shop to ashes," she said. He said. The wife was like, "What?" Then she said, "I purchased the shop for 1 lakh rupees from her only this evening," he said. And this fellow was like thrown out of balance. So both of them sat and cried together. See, this is what can happen when our jealousy overpowers us. We have to be very watchful about what kind of thoughts we have in our mind. All right. And we have, yes, another 5-10 minutes. Let me cover one more negative quality. Now I am deviating from our traditional negatives. I want to tell you about a very modern kind of negative, which is negative thinking. Negative thinking is one of the negative qualities we have to understand. We all think negative so many times, don't we? We are not positive all the time. We have to understand the mechanics of negative thinking also. One thing, I'm going to tell you 4 examples of negative thinking. Number 1, black and white thinking, we call it. We think either black or we think either white. We don't see any shade in between. No gray. Black and white thinking. What does it mean? Let me tell you an example. I am very good at mathematics, or I am bad at mathematics. There is nothing like, okay, I know a bit of mathematics. No, I am either good or I am either or bad. No intermediate. I may be a success. I will be a success, we say. Or say, somebody will say, I'm a failure. There is nothing like intermediate. But most often, we are in the intermediate phase only. Nobody is successful all the time. Nobody is a failure all the time. We don't look at that. We only see it other end, extremes of the spectrum. So that is black and white kind of negative thinking. The second type is catastrophizing, we call it. Catastrophe. What is a catastrophe? Anything like an earthquake or a tsunami or a huge cyclone and flood, those are called catastrophes. Catastrophic thinking means whatever task we want to begin, first we only think of the negative outcomes of the task. We feel that this will go wrong. We want to start a project. Oh my God, what if it goes bad? What if this fails? Is the thought that comes to our mind at the beginning only. That is the catastrophic kind of thinking. So, will it work if we start with a negative mindset? If we start a project with a negative mindset, will it work? No. Once we are positive about what we start, it can be positive or negative, but at least we have to start positive. Okay. And third type of negative thinking is we label things and people. Labeling. Labeling means one person will be there, he is a bad person. Done. Labeled forever. Is there anybody who is bad all the time? Are we good all the time? No. Nobody can be entirely good or entirely bad. We label things, we label people. This is one form of real negative thinking. Never think of any person to be totally bad or totally good. Everybody is intermediate. This helps a lot. And another type of negative thinking is the should statements. Should. I should do this. I should do that. I should be like this. I should be like that. I should, they should. So any number of shoulds. What will it result in? If we keep on adding should in our life, we are caught up. We are tied up. I should be like this. If we are not like that, it will give us stress. For example, I should wake up at 4 o'clock every morning. If for some reason you are unable to wake up at 4, you will start criticizing yourself. Or you'll say, I should get this such and such rank. I should get this job. I should get this much of money. I should get this kind of spouse in future. I should. So any number of shoulds. So these should statements is another form of negative thinking. We are like so much conditioned. We have so many conditions attached to our life. This results in misery. Therefore, these are the 4 things I wanted to mention about negative thinking. What are they? Black and white, catastrophizing, labeling, and then should statements. Now, another negative will be judgmental attitude. One of the worst traits we can have is judging people all the time. Judgmental attitude. Whenever somebody tells anything to us, we will always be judging them. Okay, this person is saying this. If I am in that place, what I would have done. If what they do and what I do is the same thing, that person becomes good to us. If they do different from what we are thinking, that person becomes bad to us. That is our own perception, not the inherent quality of the person in front of us. Therefore, let us not be judgmental. What is the opposite of judgment? Being judgmental? Being empathetic. What is empathy? Putting ourselves in the shoe of the other person. I struggled a lot to learn this. Now I learned 1% of empathy, at least I can tell you. When I started my medical practice, anybody who comes who is an alcoholic, immediately something in my mind goes like a block, a mental block. This fellow is an alcoholic. So my approach towards him used to be little, okay, he's kind of inferior kind of person. This was immaturity. But that's how we all start somewhere in some manner. So I started my medical career with that such a mindset. So I used to think, oh, this fellow is an alcoholic. We should shun him. We should be like, okay, treatment will not change, but inside the genuine love will not come for him because he is an alcoholic. Now later on, when I was like growing and maturing over a period of time and years, now 12 years into my medical, 13 years into my medical practice, now I know why was he alcoholic in the first place. Now I think I just don't shun alcoholics. Why are they alcoholic in the first place? I really talk to them a bit. Then I will find that because they are tensed, they had to get into alcohol. That was their only stress reliever. Then I used to wonder, okay, even I am stressed and I did not take alcohol. Why should he take alcohol? That was the next question my mind asks. Then again, I found my answer. I was very lucky. I was born in a family which has gurus and gods with them all the time. What about their family? They had no exposure to Guru. They did not go to Baba. They did not come to Ramakrishna mission. They were not so fortunate as us. There was nobody who tells them, okay, this is not good, this is good. Nobody told them. So another reason to love them. So this is how judgmental attitude should turn into empathetic attitude. Put yourself in their place. Let me put myself in their place and think, okay, now I am an alcoholic. I have this family burden. I don't get sleep. Now what should I do? So if I start my approach to my patient in that manner, it really helps the patient and also myself. I learned it. I learned this skill. Likewise, you apply this principle in your own life. All the people that you come across, whether you are judgmental about that person or empathetic about that person. Another negative is, this is the last negative I am covering today, which is backbiting. I wanted to talk about backbiting. What is backbiting? Behind the person. Talking bad about the person in his absence, in her absence. That is backbiting. There is another term for this, gossiping. So we will spread rumors even before knowing, without ourselves knowing whether it is true or false. We just listen to something from somebody, immediately we want to tell it to somebody else. Especially if it is something bad about that person. If it is something good about that person, we are not so enthusiastic. But if it's something like a little bit negative about the person, like we are so enthusiastic. We want to even call our friend and tell him, tell her or him about this. This happens. This is human tendency, lower tendency. Therefore, another form of backbiting is complaining. Backbiting is nothing but complaining about that person in his absence. We complain, okay, this person is like this. Now, I want to tell you about one episode, real life episode, about complaining. Though it is not directly linked to backbiting, I still wanted to tell that episode here. Our Gurudev ran a school, small school with a few kids in studying there. And there was one boy who was so difficult to manage. He was so rude and mischievous and naughty. Teachers, he would not listen to teachers. He would not listen to elders. He would always make mischief in the class. So uncontrollable he was. And over a period of time, by the time he came to 6th and 7th classes, he started using bad words, slang words, foul language. Now the teachers got fed up with it. Then they all went to Gurudev and said, Gurudev, there is this particular boy, Ravi, who must be dismissed from our school. We all came to one decision Baba, we have to give him TC and throw him out of our school because he is such a bad influence on all other kids. Then Gurudev listened very peacefully about all this and asked, okay, that doesn't seem like a valid complaint. What did you say the complaint was? He again repeated. They were like surprised a bit and they thought for a while and said, okay, Baba, we'll tell you simple. He uses bad language. He knows foul words. That is the reason he should be thrown out, they said. What? He knows foul words. That's the reason he should be thrown out. Then let me think. I think I should throw him and all of you out of my school, he said. They were like, what, Baba? What did you say? Yeah, you said knowing foul words is a reason to throw somebody out of school. Now you tell me, don't you all know the foul words? How did you know they are foul words if you already didn't know them beforehand? You also, obviously, you also knew those words, but the only difference is you knew not to use them. That boy doesn't. You teach him not to use that. That is your job as teachers. Later on, the boy really grew up to be a wonderful citizen. He became an engineer. He's very old now. He's like maybe 70 years at this point. So there's a real life story which happened. So complaining, we complain, but more than complaining, we should understand the root cause. Root cause analysis. Always go for the root, never the leaves and the branches and the stem. Always go for the root for any problem, any complaint. Now, let me summarize the negatives that I explained till now. I told you about the 6 Arishad Vargas, especially 5 I elaborated. Krodha, anger, greed, jealousy, pride, and attachment. Then we discussed a bit about the negative thinking, wrong form of thinking, which robs our peace of mind. Those we discussed about labeling, black and white thinking, catastrophizing, and should statements which torture us in our life, which add stress to our life. And then we discussed about being judgmental about people instead of being empathetic. Then we went on understanding about backbiting, in other words, gossiping, in other words, complaining about things and events and people. All right. Now, what is the solution? How to overcome all these negatives? Very simple if we are aware enough. The tip number 1 is we have to sit silent for at least 5 minutes in our day, close our eyes, just close our eyes and look at our mind. Okay, every day, either at the morning, as soon as we get up, we can do this, or before sleep, we can do this. We can sit and do this, or lie down and do this. We have to close our eyes, just watch our mind. What is mind? Thoughts. Mind is a bundle of thoughts. So, observing our thoughts. Once we start doing this, this is like introspection. We will have a look at our own mind. The first step to correct our negatives is to recognize our negatives. Once we do this introspection every day, we will be able to recognize what is going wrong in our mind. We don't spend any time to identify our wrongs, our negatives. We have to. From today, let us try to identify our negatives in the first place by closing our eyes for 5-10 minutes every day. Another way of overcoming negatives is how? By disciplining ourselves, controlling ourselves? No, by forgiving ourselves and putting a fresh effort to overcome them. We should not be judgmental about others and we should not be judgmental about our own selves. If we feel we are bad, we are never going to evolve. We have to begin to believe that we are good. Of course, we have our bad, but we are ready to accept our bad. We want to evolve. So we will forgive. If our child does something wrong, are we going to throw him out of our house? No. We'll accept. We'll try to correct. Likewise, if we are bad, let us not be too unhappy with us. Let us be happy with our own selves to begin with. Let us forgive ourselves, first of all, before forgiving anybody else outside. Let us forgive ourselves and put a fresh effort to overcome our negatives. So be kind to yourself is a famous statement. Be kind to yourself. And finally, another wonderful way of overcoming negatives is staying in the presence of fire. What fire? Yajna? Homa? No, the way I question you is obvious that that's not the answer. Close. Fire of God's presence or name. See, one day, one devotee of, because I was in Puttaparthi all the time, so many of those examples come to my mind often. So, one lady went to Satya Sai Babaji and she said, Baba, what is the fate of your devotees? She asked. He said, okay, my darshan is enough. Or for that matter, any gurus, sadhunam darsanam punyam, any realized saint or master or guru, that darsanam is enough. By being in their presence, your mind will evolve by itself. You don't need to do any practice at all. It is like sunlight. Anybody under the sun will automatically get warm. So you even don't need another sadhana if you are in the presence of your master, he said. Then she asked, Baba, that holds good for somebody who is in your presence. What about all those millions of people, thousands of people who are staying far away from you? Then he said, I have given you the fire of Namasmarana. So you lit it up. So once we stick to a name, our favorite name of God, any mantra that we like, Om Namah Shivaya, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, or any form, any deity that we love, our Guru, any one name or mantra, if we keep on chanting it mentally throughout the day, as long as we can, as much as we can, during brushing, during bathing, during cooking, during serving, so many times we can mentally keep chanting a mantra or Gayatri mantra, any mantra. So that is the fire. This fire removes our negatives. It will make us light and bright from within and without. Okay, so I'm done with my lecture today. I thank God and our gurus for giving this opportunity, particularly Sri Ramakrishna Mission for giving me this opportunity for the third time. This is my privilege. I'm very happy to be with all of you. I hope I have been instrument good enough for God to speak through me. Thank you. Jai Guru.
Same thing. Same thing. We are very thankful to our Dr. Samir Nandanji. Thank you, sir. Now with concluding prayers, we close our today's session. Please repeat. Om Natvaham Kamaye Rajyam Na Swargam Na Punarbhavam Kamaye Dukkataptanam Pranina Murtinashanam Sarvastaratu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyato Sarva Sadbuddhimapnoto Sarva Sarvatra Nandato Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam
न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महेशा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्य सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि प्रीयतां पुण्डरीकाक्षः सर्वयज्ञेश्वरो हरिः तस्मिन् तुष्टे जगत्तुष्टम् प्रीणिते प्रीणितं जगत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु Thank you so much. Thank you.